Welcome back. A valedictory court session was held for retiring Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud Mohammed, on Thursday, the 10th of November, and the President formally swore in Justice Walter Onoge as the acting CJN. Some lawyers assessed the tenure of the former CJN and also set an agenda for the new man.
I want to commend him for congratulate him on his retirement from the bench, and for some of the things that he has done. I feel that the CJN has been very slow. I feel the CJN has not been pragmatic. I feel the CJN has not acted in a way and manner we would have expected. A situation where judges on allegation of serious corruptions are only just retired. They are not even dismissed and prosecuted. It is one of the very sore points of the CJ that is currently leaving the bench currently now. A situation where they had to wait for the executive to go to the offices, to go to the houses of a sitting judge is unfortunate. It's lamentable. It's something we should frown out.
Actually, the tenure of the past CJN is just very short, and then the infractions, which is a press judgment of the judiciary, cannot be assessed as something that's happened during his tenure, because most of the claims they have is a protracted and something that had been ongoing before he came in as a CJN. Most of the cases they cited was the ones that had been ongoing during the election, and the counter claims from the judges are things that happened during the election of the governorship elections and we are about. However, he has done a little bit well during his tenure. A CJN will not sit in his own court and know what is going behind the scene. However, he has a role of supervisory role. It's only when this thing comes to his table that he will act on it.
I'm talking about the judiciary entirely. We can't remove the judiciary from the society. We have a society, Nigerian society is rotten. And the politicians want to destroy this country. It's the politicians and the ministers that are trying to influence the judiciary. The judges that the DSS raided, they are presumed innocent. And I personally believe that they should not have been suspended without following due process, because they are presumed innocent. They're just bringing this charge when they already told them to go on suspension. I think that step is wrong. They are presumed innocent. My belief is that a judge can do no wrong.
He must set a new agenda. I will recollect that when Akpambo became the Attorney General, we were able to bring a crop of judges that included Oputa and the rest of them to the Supreme Court. And that era was the best moment in the history of Nigerian Supreme Court. And the authorities are being cited. Every judge of the Supreme Court at that time had credibility, intelligence, brilliance, and we still revere them till today. But we cannot say that of the people of today. So the new CJN should now look forward. There are role models. We had Idigbe. He was a role model that every judge should follow. We had Justice Oputa, Justice Mohammed Bello. These are people we should emulate. Now, let's advance the Supreme Court. At least let that Apex Court be as much revered as it used to be in the past.
We want him to do everything he can to rid the judiciary of corruption and ensure that the public confidence in the judiciary is restored. And it can come in several ways. I want him to use the NJC, which has constitutional powers to discipline judges, to ensure that judges are properly supervised in terms of judgment delivered, in terms of their attitude, even lawyers as well. If there's any way they can bring it in and ensure that the body responsible for disciplinary control on lawyers also do their work properly. But for him, as the head of the Nigerian judiciary, he has a lot to do to restore confidence in the judiciary. He has a lot to do to ensure that our judges deliver judgments based on law, not sentiment, and that all forms of influences are eradicated from our courts.
And just before we go, let's do a quick recap of some of the top trending legal stories.
We begin with a report that the former Minister of Aviation has been released from custody after meeting his bail conditions. He was granted bail in the sum of 50 million naira on Thursday, November the 10th, by a federal high court sitting in Abuja. Mr. Fani Kayode, a director of media and publicity in the campaign organization of former President Goodluck Jonathan, was granted bail after his arraignment on a 5-count charge of committing a 26 million naira fraud. He pleaded not guilty to the charges as referred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC had accused him of diverting the 26 million naira allegedly received from the office of the former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki. The EFCC also accused him of handling the money without going through a financial institution as required under the Money Laundering Act. Mr. Fani Kayode is also standing trial alongside some other persons in the Lagos division of the court with respect to similar allegations of diversion of funds. The trial against him in Abuja has been fixed for December the 14th. Also rearranged in court is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. He was arraigned alongside some others on Tuesday, November the 8th on amended 11-count charge that includes terrorism, treasonable felony, illegal possession of firearms, and improper importation of goods. All the counts were in connection with the defendant's alleged broadcast on Radio Biafra and an agitation for secession from states in the southeast, the south-south zones, and other communities in Kogi and Benue states to constitute a Republic of Biafra. The rearrangement was necessitated by Nnamdi Kanu's recent rejection of former trial judge Justice John Soho on the grounds that the judge was biased. In December 2015, Kanu had also rejected Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the same court on the same grounds. Justice Binta Murtala Nyako therefore becomes the third judge to hear the matter. From the Federal High Court, we move to the Court of Appeal, also sitting in Abuja. On Thursday, November the 10th, the court gave the replaced PDP governorship candidate in Ondo State, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede, leave to appeal a Federal High Court's order recognizing Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim as the party's authentic candidate. The three-man panel of the appeal court, led by Justice Ibrahim Saulawa, also granted a similar application filed by factional PDP leader Ahmed Makarafi and secretary of his faction, Ben Obi, to challenge Mr. Ibrahim's candidacy. Justice Saulawa's panel unanimously agreed that the applicant had established sufficient interest in the case to be allowed to appeal. And staying at the appeal court, but this time in Lagos, the court on Tuesday, the 8th of November, fixed January 19, 2017 to hear an appeal filed by senior advocate of Nigeria, Ricky Tafa, challenging the refusal of a Lagos High Court to quash the bribery charges laid against him by the EFCC. Mr. Tafa's lawyer, Biodu Owonikoko, told the court that the appeal was ripe for hearing as the records had been compiled and transmitted. The EFCC lawyer, Rotimi Oyedepo, also informed the court that the commission had filed the necessary papers and was ready to argue the appeal. Presiding Justice Mohammed Lawal Garba then fixed January the 19th for the hearing of the appeal. And we round off with a report that the trial of the registered trustees of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, headed by Pastor T.B. Joshua, resumed on Thursday, November the 10th, before a Lagos High Court in Ikeja. The church is being prosecuted in relation to the death of 116 persons on September the 12th, 2014, when a 6-story building it owned collapsed in the Ikoton area of Lagos State. The trial resumed before Justice Lateef Lawal Akapo, with a prosecution witness Adebayo Olayinka, a retired operative of the Lagos State Fire Service, who testified that a crowd believed to be members of the church denied firemen on emergency rescue operation immediate access to the accident scene.
And that's the program for today. Please send us your views and comments through any of our social media handles. You can find these in past episodes of the program on our YouTube page. Do watch and leave your comments. I'm Shola Shieli. Thank you for watching.